Hello, how are you doing today? Trust that you're doing great. Thank you for joining me again on my channel. In today's video, I'll be sharing with you our experience in dealing with atopic dermatitis, popularly called eczema. Gosh. So I've been sharing bits and pieces of our experience on Instagram, and I thought it would be good to just do a sit-down video so that I can share everything in details, because Instagram allows you to record like 1 minute video, 90 minutes at most, and I feel like I have more audience here, so I just wanted to like share experience. So in case you're a mother out there and you're experiencing this with your baby or an adult yourself, I hope that our experience can help you one way or the other, because I remember when we were going through it, every video we found was valuable, but I'm thankful to God that eventually we found a solution. One thing about atopic dermatitis that I've realized is that what works for A might not work for B. So no matter what you have used or how far you've gone and you're almost feeling frustrated, I want to encourage you to hang in there. Don't be frustrated. There's probably just one more thing for you to try out, and then you'll find the solution. So before we go into the video for today, I just want to appeal to you that if this is your first time watching my video, to please subscribe to my channel, like this video so that YouTube can recommend this video to more people, and also hit the bell icon so you'll be notified whenever I share new videos. Also do follow me on Instagram. I share like more videos on there, and I'll be sharing more about our day-to-day still managing and dealing with atopic dermatitis. You don't want to miss that. All right, without further ado, let's start with atopic dermatitis. What is atopic dermatitis? So atopic dermatitis in simple terms is actually skin inflammation. And this inflammation can manifest as itchiness, redness, dryness, in different forms. But the thing about it is that it is actually very uncomfortable. If it is not severe, if I don't even think that any part of it is good. So either it is severe or minor, it is not a good experience, at least with our own baby. And atopic dermatitis can be triggered by a number of things. And actually, doctors refer to it as an immune system disorder, because it's something from the immune system. It's your immune system reacting to something, and this reaction can be triggered by a food, environment, or any other thing, atopic dermatitis really doesn't have a cure. You just have to manage it, and doctors sometimes cannot explain what causes it. I remember during our own time, we visited several doctors, and they were like, this is another level, this is another level, this is different, this is different. It was a very horrible experience, and I'm going to go into all of that very soon. But I just wanted to give a little bit of background about atopic dermatitis in case you haven't heard of it or you're new to it. And there are several things that trigger it. For instance, it might be your food, it might be like something in the environment, it might be fragrances, it might be chemicals in your soap, your dishwash, it might be the type of clothing that you wear. Like I remember during our experience, the number of recommendations I said we should go for organic cottons, and we tried to switch to that. We switched our detergent, we switched our dish soap for our baby, everything. So different things trigger atopic dermatitis, but basically it's an immune system disorder. That is the simple way to put it. And so that's why it is something that can be managed, not something that can be cured. But with our God, nothing is absolutely impossible. Yes. So sometimes the redness, the dryness can occur in parts of the arm, can occur around the knee, on your scalp, on your face, in your body, in different areas for different people. And the itching can be very severe. If you want to know more about atopic dermatitis, I'm going to leave you a link in the description box to read more about it, especially from the Eczema Society. They do a number of publications about eczema and things that you could do to help yourself or your baby. Education and educating yourself actually is very important when dealing with atopic dermatitis. So I'm going to go into step-by-step things that we dealt with, how we found out, and things like that. So I will start with the symptoms that we experienced. So we didn't know that it was atopic dermatitis when things started. So one of the things we noticed initially was dryness. So we noticed he was having dryness around his elbows, his knees, but we felt it was because we're like bathing him every day. Doctors will then it was a baby, it was like less than 3 months or so. So, doctors would advise you not to bathe your baby every day, especially in America. Like, oh, they're not so dirty. Why do you want to bathe them every day? And they feel like bathing them every day, you're washing off the essential oil on their skin. So we felt that was what was happening that was causing the dryness. So we stopped bathing him every day. We switched to one day, to alternate days. We alternate the days that we bathed him and all of that. But, things got worse. Then we went to see his pediatrician. We're like, so initially started with cradle cap on his head, and the pediatrician prescribed, I remember, ATOPIC. We used that. It seemed to work a little bit. Afterwards, nothing. So some days I would take like this small comb. I would like just take off some of the flakes I could from his scalp, and then I'll wash off with the Happy, but it didn't work. So I did some further research and I found another product that people had recommended. I went to Amazon to get it. I'm going to put it on the screen. I can't remember the name off of my head right now, but that product was actually very effective. And so we were able to abate the cradle cap, and that one subsided for a while. Thereafter, when we started feeding him solid, we were trying to transition to solid from like 4 months. So we started with like purees and several things. One day we noticed that he was covered in, like his skin was covered in, I don't know how to explain it, in bad rashes. It was so scary that I ran away. It was, oh my God, what did I do? What happened to my baby? I was so scared. And my husband was like, take it easy. We called the hospital. I'm not sure what they told us. Like, I can't even remember what they told us, but they didn't take us then. They were not sure what happened. That was actually early in the morning. They were not sure what happened. They were just telling us to keep watching him and all of that. So I think we applied some products and then things subsided like after 3 days. The redness was so much, like his skin around the stomach turned red and had like different bumps, like blisters, like if you have blisters from like injury, that was what it felt like in different spots around his body. So after a while, we went off that phase. But from there, things became worse. It was like from that to another. So it was majorly like redness, itching, the itching that would turn to, sores. It would bleed. Like I remember we would wear him some outfits sometimes and then we'll have to change because he's soaked up in blood. It was so bad. He had redness around his face. Then skin discoloration started coming in. The itching was the most severe part of it all because the itching would lead to a lot of bleeding and dryness. Like we would use ointment, use Vaseline, different things, and it would feel like we had not applied anything on the skin. The dryness was extreme. So initially we thought it had to do with his laundry detergent. The laundry detergent that we thought was actually fragrance free and chemicals free was not actually that way. That was Drift. We had started initially with using Drift, so we had to change. We changed our detergent to, I think it was All or something. I'm going to check the name and put it on the screen. So we were washing, but that didn't even make any difference. We tried to switch some of his clothing to cotton. We used humidifiers. I watched every video that I found on TikTok, on YouTube, talking about eczema. People talk about the gut system, giving probiotics, but they don't really have probiotics for babies. They have probiotics for babies, for toddlers, for like 1 year old. But at that time, we even tried to like reduce the dosage, just something that could work for his age, but nothing really worked. We got, I'll probably insert some stash of product that I was able to capture on the screen. We kept buying product after product after product after product. Then we would visit the doctors and they would say, no, the solution is to go on steroids. I'm like, I don't want to do steroids. I read about steroids. I'm like, and they would be like, steroids are not particularly bad if you don't overuse them. And I'm like, okay, at what point do you determine that you overused them? I had read about the negative side effects of steroids. I wasn't willing to go that route, and also withdrawing from steroids can be very severe and even worse than whatever symptom you're trying to treat, because it wasn't a solution actually. It was just something to, because like I said, it's an immune disorder. So sometimes the immune system is overreacting to something. So the steroid is acting like an antihistamine to like calm or douse whatever was happening. It's like, okay, system calmed down. So it was not a solution, it was not a permanent cure, you know. So for a while, we were on that journey. I remember we had gone to see one of the doctors, and he had prescribed that an injection. He said we would need to do a monthly injection. I've forgotten whatever the name of the injection was, which wasn't a cure as well. It was just something to manage the symptoms. And I'm like, okay, so what happens whenever we stop this injection? Like, let's say we skip it for a month, what happens? And it's like, it's gonna come back. I'm like, so what then is the point? Why do I have to be making my son live on injection for all his life? You know, because I feel like at a point, then the system builds a dependence on that injection. So it's not, what if that company goes out of operation, or later we find out, you know, I didn't want to deal with all of that. And I was actually very upset after I left that appointment, because the way the doctor painted it, it almost felt like a disability. I'm like, what is this? I remember I was crying. I was so depressed, and I was talking to God, like, God, what have I done? Why is this happening to my baby? Why should this be happening to me? What have I done to deserve it? This is my first experience, and this is what I'm going through. Why? And all of that. And then I remember after asking for a while, at one point, it was just like I heard in my spirit saying, why should it not be you? What else should it happen to? Like, you know, it doesn't mean that you're a Christian, does not mean that things will not happen sometimes, but you know, it doesn't mean that you would not overcome it. And so at that point, I prayed with wisdom by the grace of God. I believe that was by the help of God that I was able to pray and rechange my prayer point, like, God, just lead us to the solution. I know that whatever the doctors are saying, I don't believe them, but I know that you know what is happening. Get us to the root cause of this sin and help us fight it. Help us fight it. I don't want to watch my baby suffer continuously like this. So now I've moved away from the symptoms, going to how we found the solution. So I remember again, we went to visit his pediatrician, and he had recommended another expert dermatologist to us. She gave us a cream, like two small, they were in like small tubes, very small. So we're supposed to apply one layer first, then apply the other layer at one point. We tried that, it seemed to work for a while, and then it was back to zero ground again. So where do we go from here? So at one point, his pediatrician then recommended to do an allergy test. It was like, maybe there's something triggering this food. Are you sure it's not about the food or something? I'm like, we don't know. So, and when he even said the allergy test, I was like, allergies? Like, what's this man talking about? We're Africans, Nigerians, we don't have allergies. Don't mind me, I was being ignorant then, because I had not heard of anybody in my family or a close friend or a close relative with any allergies. So I'd always assumed that, you know, allergies were not something that I would be dealing with. So he actually recommended to do the allergy test. Then we did the allergy test. The results came back, and we saw that he was actually allergic to a number of things. And at that point, actually, I think we were so we had started fighting and dealing with this from like when it was like 3 months going to 4 months. And I think around this time we were like about 7 months. It was about 7 months old, going to 8 months or so then. During this time, we had tried different things. I had baited him with local flowers, like there's this hibiscus flower people had recommended. We had to ship it in from Nigeria. We had baited him with that. We stashed all over America. We bought the ones that we could, ship some from Africa. My mom came, she brought a lot of it. We used that. We used black soap. We used even the hibiscus leaves, that's zobo itself. I bit because I saw people talk about the powder. I used everything. We used everything that we at one point we bought a product from Australia. One person had said that their baby also had the very severe form of eczema, and so they developed that product that healed their baby. So we believed and we bought the product. Actually, it took a while for the product to come, and we bought the product, but nothing worked. Some made matters even worse. So eventually, when we did the allergy test and we reviewed the number of allergies that we had, the doctor was like, so it might be that these things that were feeding him are the things triggering the eczema. So yeah, he referred us to an allergist. So we went to see the allergist. The allergist then told us, like, yeah, atopic dermatitis is severe form, this and that. Like, it's not unusual. Like, babies his age actually are very, like, a number of them have it. It's very common amongst them. But, it's something that needs to be dealt with strategically. And actually, for his age, there's little that can be done. But the advice he would give us is to note all of these things that he's allergic to and avoid them. Like, stop giving him all of these things. And we're like, okay, if you stop giving him all of these things, how then would he deal with it? How then do we build tolerance? And it was like, normally building tolerance should be done in a controlled manner. And that can be done from like when he's like age 4 and above, because then he's able to express himself better. So when they're trying to do some things, it can be able to explain whatever he's feeling or how he's feeling. But for his age, we would just recommend that we avoid all of those things. So we agreed to do that. We had tried steroid even at that point, guys. I was determined to find a solution. I tried steroid, but as soon as we stopped the steroid, things would go from bad to worse. And I didn't like the skin discoloration that was coming with the steroid, so we stopped it. So at that point, the allergist then recommended a product to us. This product is a medication prescription. So it's a prescription medication. So it has to be prescribed by a doctor. I can't remember the name, honestly. And what he told us, he said this product was developed by a South African doctor. The product has 3 components. It has an antibacterial component, an antifungal component, and little bit of steroid. So he said the steroid component and it was very minute. So that kind of gave me a little bit of comfort. Like, okay, it's not as high as the pure steroids that we're using on the skin. So he recommended that product for us, and so we waited to get our prescription and we tried that product. That product changed the game, guys. I won't lie to you, it changed the game. That was when we started experiencing his skin. The skin began to clear out, and we started avoiding all of those triggers as well. So the doctor had told us that for some of the things that even the test revealed that he was allergic to, that we had not tried, he told us to try them just bit by bit, because for him, he would say that the best test of allergy is the physical test, not the blood test. So sometimes the blood test might show that the baby is allergic, but you might give it to them and they are not allergic. So sometimes you need to try, but in trying, you need to be, trying in a controlled environment. So if things go worse, you know where to quickly go, because the way people react to allergens are different. Some people have life-threatening events after trying allergens, so you need to be careful. So on the basis of this, I want to encourage moms, especially new moms, when you're introducing solids, either you're starting with purees or whatever you're starting with, you're trying to introduce your baby to foods other than breast milk or formula, I would recommend that you try it in a controlled manner. And the recommendation usually is to introduce one allergen at a time. When you introduce an allergen, you wait for like 3 days before you give them again, because within that 3 days you can be able, then when you're waiting, you have to observe, are they itching, are they uncomfortable, are there rashes, watch out for all of these indications so that you know if they're allergic to it or not. Or better still, you could just go do a blood test to find out whatever they're allergic to before you start feeding them solids or any puree, so that you know what to do, and then you are not exposing them to harm. Because I've seen a video on the internet of somebody that introduced the food to a type of, I'm not sure exactly what the food was to a baby. She didn't know her baby was allergic, and then the situation became an ER situation. Thank God that she was able to get there in time. So I would say that when you're introducing purees or starting a baby off on anything other than breast milk and formula, make sure that you do it in an informed manner, in a controlled manner, and you do it one after the other. Don't overload their system. So I feel like for us, that was one of the mistakes with me, because number one, I assumed that no, we're Africans, we don't have allergies. Please, allergies? No. What is what? Please. But eventually we learned, and today I'm happy that that phase is over. So now what we do is, whenever we notice the rash, any rash on any part of the skin, we still have the product, we just apply it. and then things go off. But as much as possible, we've been avoiding the triggers. So is reactions are triggered by food. I know some people that theirs are triggered by environment. It might just be maybe a plant in the environment or a type of air. Some people are triggered even by humidity. So whatever it is that is happening, if you are going through eczema, you've tried everything that you know to try. Instead of you to keep buying products and listening to people that will tell you, oh, it's the gut, it has to do with gut, do probiotics and all of that. I'm not saying that probiotics are not good. I would say that you should seek to know the cause. Once you know the cause, then you know what you are dealing with, so that you can avoid all of those things. It's not enough to say avoid dish soap, avoid unorganic cottons. All of those things are good, don't get me wrong, but I feel like that those methods, those approaches are just you dealing with it blindly. A better way to see clearly is to have a blood test done. Once you have your blood test done and you're sure what you're dealing with, then that way your solution is quicker than you would know. So ever since then, we stopped buying product. So like I said, now we just use a good moisturizing cream. So for anyone dealing with atopic dermatitis, that is eczema, you need a good moisturizing cream, like very good moisturizing cream. So we use I can't remember the name as well, I don't know, my brain is, but I put it on the screen. That's the cream we use for him at the moment. But whenever we notice rashes or like a bit of inflammation on any part of the skin, we use the prescribed cream that the allergist gave us. We use that, and then in a matter of 1 or 2 days, it's gone. So, but as much as possible, we've been trying to avoid the allergens. So, yeah, that's been our journey so far in dealing with atopic dermatitis. That is, yeah, what it is right now. And I'm so grateful to God that it took us to the solution. We were able to find the solution, and now his skin is cleared, all the discoloration, they are gone, and his skin is back to normal. He's a happy baby. He doesn't scratch or itch like he used to. And hi, I'm a happy mama. A happy baby makes a happy mama. All right, so this is where I'm going to draw this video to a close. I would, like I said, I am active on Instagram, so I'll be sharing more on our journey on Instagram and how I prepare his meals. So I'll be sharing some of the allergy friendly meals that I make for him and things that are helping us avoid a reoccurrence of whatever we had. Yes. So follow me on Instagram. My Instagram details will be on the screen. Yeah, I hope to see you. All right, if you have any questions about anything that I've said, please leave them in the comment section below, and don't forget to share this video. A lot of mamas are out there that need this information, so please keep sharing this information so that every mama in every part of the world that needs to have this information, that are dealing with atopic dermatitis, can find the solution. That is the reason why I decided to share this video. I actually didn't want to share before, but I just realized that sometimes when we go through things, it's not just for ourselves, it is also to help others. So I shouldn't be thinking just about myself. I need to think about other people that I've been going through things, not knowing what to do. I watched a number of videos. None of these videos talked about doing an allergy test. None of them. So that's why I'm sharing this information now, hoping that you have a different perspective that will help you get closer to the solution that you're seeking. Yes. So thank you so much for watching this video till now. I hope that you have gained some value from it, and I hope to see you in my next video. Until then, take care. Bye. Remember, God loves you. Bye.